Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. I just want to welcome each and every person again for another beautiful day. Although it is raining, it is going to be a beautiful day as far as information, as far as another day in recovery, another 24 hours, and another day that God has given you on this beautiful earth. We are going to discuss a topic that kind of hits home for me only because I worked a lot of years up in Alaska in the bushes, in the Arctic Circle. And I have a dear friend that is in the juvenile correctional facility place in Bethel, Alaska. In other words, he works there. He is one of the officers. And I just recently read an article on the amount of abuse when it comes to alcohol and drugs by the youths of Alaska are almost double of the national statistics. And I think about how hard his job must be, not only as a human to see the rotating door of people coming in and out constantly, the same people, but also as a correction officer to have to deal with these drunk and drug abusers. And we need to keep something in mind, folks, and it's very important that we keep this in perspective, is that these children, these youths, these people coming through there, they're not bad people. They have a bad problem. They have a disease called alcoholism or drug abuse. And it is people like Brandon Whopper from Bethel, Alaska, that I applaud for doing his job so very well. And I hope everything that he does for these youths, that they will remember it as they get older, because he truly does work from his heart. He is truly a warrior. I did an interview on him. You can also just go to his website, brandonwappa.com, I believe it is, and take a look at his website, because he transformed, which is one of my websites. It's called Clear Reform. To reform is to transform. He transformed himself totally around from being one person to a whole different person for the better as far as health is concerned, looks are concerned. So shout out to Brandon Whopper. It's Waipa. First name is Brandon, Brandon. I think it's Don. Whopper.com. So it's BrandonWaipa.com. He is in Bethel, Alaska, and today we are going to talk about substance abuse prevention program offered in the state of Alaska for their youths. But before I also give a couple plugs, a shout out, I need to talk about, or I want to bring up what I made a promise to him today, is show 16, since I promised you folks that I would do 31 shows to go and coincide with I Declare 31 Promises to Make Throughout Your Lifetime by Joel Osteen. And I said, okay, I will do 31 consecutive shows making a declaration for each show. And today's declaration number 16, and it reads as follows. I declare that I will live as a healer. I am sensitive to the needs of those around me. I will lift the fallen, restore the broken. I am full of compassion and kindness. I won't just look for a miracle. I will become someone's miracle by showing God's love and mercy everywhere I go. This is my declaration, folks. It is very important that you adhere and listen to these words, because they're powerful as anything. I declare that I will live as a healer. I am sensitive to the needs of those around me. I will lift the falling, restore the broken, and encourage the discouraged people. I am full of compassion and kindness. I won't just look for a miracle. I will become someone else's miracle by showing God's love and mercy everywhere I go. Folks, this is my declaration number 16 for the 16th show, since I made the comparison to Joel Osteen, 31 promises to keep throughout your lifetime. And to make this whole declaration in one little nutshell is the fact that I always emphasize that we have to, as humans, be as good as possible to each other and help each other. I've been on a crusade on Facebook for the last 2 weeks, or since Thanksgiving, about gratefulness, about gratitude, about thankfulness, putting quotes up in all my pages on my websites. And this crusade will continue as long as it takes to get to Christmas, which is another, today is the, what is today, the 7th? So today, no, today is the 8th. So another 2 weeks, and then it is a whole new crusade. My shout outs go to a new sponsor. That is globaleyeglasses.com. For everybody that knows me, knows that I've been in the optometry field for God knows how long. And this sponsor, www.globaleyeglasses.com, I bring up this time of the year because it is a very inexpensive eyeglass company that you order through online. Frames start at $6 and go all the way up to $49, and those frames include regular, no-coated plastic lenses. www.globaleyeglasses.com. Go on their website. They have about 1,100 different selections and frames. Um, you go step by step. You look at the frame. You click on the frame to order. You can pick out lenses, whether it's transition, clear, sunglasses, and just follow the directions. Put your prescription in, and bingo! It takes about 12 to 15 business days to get your glasses. Go to www.globaleyeglasses.com. globaleyeglasses.com. I personally back this company up. You have my recommendation, 30 plus years in the optometry business. Next one goes to Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point. 844-414-8444. Dr. Luis Gonzalez has two sides, three actually, but we're only going to discuss two of his business. One is like myself. He is a addiction recovery coach. He will help you go from addiction to recovery 24 hours at a time. He will never ever, like myself, talk about your past because we're not counselors or therapists. We are addiction recovery coaches. It is our job to motivate, to lift you up, to bring the answers you have for the questions to the surface. On the other side, he can turn you into what I am, which is an addiction recovery coach. I am a graduate of his program. If you have professionalism, you have personality, and you have professional personality, and geez, there's three P's, but if you have those two at least, and you have some sort of addiction background, whether it's your own or in someone else's situation, you should call him at 844-414-8444, and that's startingpointmn.com, startingpointmn.com. If you have professionality, personality, and passion, those three. See, it had to come to me. I'm a 53-year-old man. Things aren't as quick anymore as possible, or used to be. Professional personality and passion. If you have those three things and an addiction background, call him. 844-414-8444. Shout out to myself. I have two websites. www.clearviews.info. The info stands for 411, which is information. My website is full of information on addiction and recovery. I have tons of videos to show you. I have tons of articles to let you read. Go there, CLEARVIEWSINFO, clearviews.info. That's for informational purposes. You can also, if you need to get a coach, I can coach you as much as Dr. Luis Gonzalez can coach you. This country's big enough for a lot more coaches than just us. That's www.clearreform.com, CLEARREFORM.com. You notice both my websites start with the word clear. What CLEAR stands for is Community Lessons Empower Addiction Recovery. My phone number, 844-405-HELP, and you can text me 24/7 at 631-599-0218. Let's jump into this. Substance Abuse Prevention Program in Alaska. Again, this one hits home because I personally witnessed what was going on up in Alaska. And I just wanted, before I jump into this, give you a little bit information on how Alaska has certain levels of alcohol allowances in certain villages. You have three categories. You have damp, wet, and dry. Damp means that you're allowed to bring it into the village. Wet means that you can buy it in the village, and dry means you cannot buy or bring into the village. No alcohol is involved. And the dry you'll see a lot more in the Arctic Circle. The reasons that I have gotten information on why these villages are very strict on alcohol consumption or alcohol usage is because you have to know that Alaska has 21 hours of daylight and 21 hours of nighttime. And they don't have the means of transportation that you and I would have, which is by car. Theirs is pretty much by snow machine, it's by airplane. So they're kind of stuck in their villages a lot. And when you're kind of stuck somewhere, which I have been in Mountain Village, I was stuck there for a whole week one time because I couldn't leave by plane. When you're stuck in these villages and you have a lot of darkness, you get depressed. Then you mix that with alcohol and drugs, and what do you get? You get physical violence, domestic abuse, criminality, criminal acts. That is why they have regulations. But Alaska has double the rates of alcohol and drug consumption than the lower 48, being us. Across the board, all ages, Alaska has one of the highest per capita alcohol consumption rates. In the nation, and prevalence of alcohol dependence and alcohol abuse at 14% is twice the national average of 7. So they have double with the lower 48. They have 14%. The use of alcohol and other drugs among our state's high school age students, while high, is very similar to national statistics for youth substance abuse. Statistics collected through 2003 Youth Risk Behavior Survey provide an improved, although still grim, picture regarding the current pattern of alcohol use abuse by Alaskan youths. And I want to tell you folks something. All the years that I spent up in Alaska, I will tell you, I love the Eskimos. They are the most kindest people in the world. They open up their arms and their homes to you when you come to visit. Every time I would go to the village to do the eyes on the veterans or just on Alaskans in general, they were very warm felt by my presence. 71.1% of high school students have used alcohol at least once, down from 1995 where it was 80.1%. 38.7 had at least one drink of alcohol in the last 30 days, down from 47 in 1995. So you can see that the prevention program is full in effect and fully working. 26.5% had binge drinking episode, down from 31% drinking. So the average is anywhere from 5 to 10% decrease since 1995. Research shows that those youth who begin drinking alcohol by the age of 13 have a higher likelihood of becoming addicted to alcohol, lifelong difficulty with substance abuse. Again, we see this improvement in the current pattern of alcohol use in 2003, with a decrease from 36% down to 23% of youth under the age of 13 having used alcohol at least once. In addition, a recent health survey shows that smoking among Alaska youths have also fallen from by 50% in the last 8 years. In 2003, YRBS, which is the survey company, showed high school teens who reported smoking once in the past month fell from 37% to 19%. Very good. A lot has to do with this. I mean, I know this prevention program works, but also the cost of cigarettes in Alaska. Folks, go and YouTube prices in Alaska. Gallons of milk, gallons of water, cigarettes, soda. It's remarkable. Impacts of youth's substance use and abuse. Substances use and abuse has a profound impact on Alaska youth. It contributes to injuries, school dropout rates, teen pregnancy, interpersonal violence, suicide is so high up there, attempts, depression, youth crime, and many other social problems. The good news is that with the release of full results from the 2003 survey, we are beginning to see a decrease in most of the youth behavior problems due to primarily the substance use and abuse rates declining, and kudos to the substance abuse prevention program. And I want to shout out to my friend Brandon Waper again. I want to shout out to him because he is doing such a tremendous job, not only within the correction facility for the youths, but with himself. Folks, if you ever went to Alaska, not just to visit for a cruise, but into the rural villages, you will be amazed how a person like Brandon can come out to be so positive and so powerful, his message. You'll be amazed. Because if I got stuck in a village, now I will grant you, Bethel is not a village per se. It is, but it's gigantic. But if I got stuck in one of the Arctic Circle villages for more than a week, I'd go crazy. I was stuck in Mountain Village for a week and I could not wait to leave. I got to the point, folks, that even though the snow was coming, when I heard that the plane would still arrive, and mind you, these are 4 to 6 seat planes, that the plane would still attempt to come and get me, I didn't care of the risk. I just needed to get out. Because you are now in the middle of nowhere with no place to go. No place. Let's get back to this. What does work? In almost 30 years of research for the best methods to offer prevention and early intervention services to the youth and families, these are number key issues that work for Alaskan youth. Environmental and educational strategies help communities take an active role in addressing local issues of substance abuse. Cultural appropriate services promote greater success in our Alaska Native communities by implementing programs that incorporate traditional culture values which the elders carry, and today's youths in Alaska are more and more going away. For example, you see the elders still wearing the fur, even the shoes are made out of fur. And then you look at today's youths and they're walking with high top sneakers, pants droopy like you would find on the streets of New York City. The youths do not follow the elders' footsteps, and had they or should they do that, they will see a decrease in a lot of things that are going on. Identification of community risks and protective factors has led to the use of resiliency model that builds up positive life skills and experiences, helping youth succeed despite growing of high-risk family or environmental issues. More aggressive underage purchasing enforcement laws for both alcohol and tobacco reduce teen usage and adult purchases for youth. They clamp down tremendously. The penalties are higher. The consequences are stiffer and stricter. Greater emphasis on local option law assists in giving communities more control of access to alcohol and drugs. Community-based grant programs for Alaska. Currently, the state's DHSS, through the Division of Behavioral Health, Juvenile Justice, and Office of Children's Services, issue grants to diverse array of community-based organizations with the goal of developing creative programs focused on prevention of youth substances. State agencies work in partnership to fund communities in the collaborative manner so that the services are implemented without duplication or completion, or competition, I should say. The state of Alaska is committed to continue aggressive targeting and integrated services to reduce and prevent substance use and abuse across the state, to empower communities as active partners, and to begin changing the knowledge, attitudes, behaviors, and the state in their states, young people, in terms of health, wellness, and dangers of the use of alcohol and drugs. Due to its location, Alaska is a transfer point as well as a consumer state with respect to controlled substances. With its separation from the rest of the United States and shared the border with Canada, Alaska is unique. Cocaine distribution in Alaska is dominated by Mexican and Dominican groups. Meth use and seizures are on the rise. Alaskans average among the highest per capita users of controlled substances also. This corresponds to an equally high per capita rate of alcoholism and suicide when compared to the lower 48 states. Money laundering by drug trafficking organization is also a major problem in Alaska, and suicide attempts and successions are probably the highest in the country, folks. These drugs are gigantic in the state of Alaska. Cocaine. In Alaska, cocaine trafficking is controlled primarily by Mexican Dominican trafficking groups. Crack cocaine is a major threat to Alaskans. Many drug trafficking organizations deal in both crack and cocaine, obtaining it from the lower 48 states. It sells in Alaska at greatly inflated prices due to the limited supply, and the same goes with alcohol. Folks, when I was in one of the, and I'm not going to name the village, in the Arctic Circle there was a village. If you wanted to get a bottle of whiskey, regular bottle, about this big, it would cost you to the tune of $175, folks. $175. So you can imagine what the drugs are going to cost you. Heroin. Access is limited. Mexican organizations dominate the limited trade in black tar heroin. Heroin users have turned to Oxycontin as a substitute because of its greater availability. Meth. In an attempt to limit meth manufacturers, Alaska has passed statutes limited the sale of pharmaceutical, requiring that it be placed behind the counter. Many stores have chosen to remove all pharmaceutical-based products. The number of small lab seizures has indeed decreased. Meth is still readily available on the streets and the villages in Alaska. The majority of meth for sale in Alaska is available from groups trafficking it right to the lower 48 into your home. Club drugs. MDMA, or ecstasy, is not yet widely available and is being distributed in limited amounts by the same drug traffickers as those that are giving out the cocaine, meth, and pot. LSD and GHB are also available and increasing in availability in the state of Alaska. Marijuana. Marijuana is the most widespread illicit drug in Alaska and probably in the country at this point, not other than heroin. In 2006, Governor Murkowski signed a bill into law recriminalizing possession of marijuana. Almost all of the marijuana produced in the state is grown indoors under climate-controlled conditions because it's such an open state. You throw a greenhouse in the middle of nowhere, who's going to know? BC bud smuggled from British Columbia is also a problem and widely available, especially locally in Anchorage area. Pharmaceutical diversion. Prescription drugs are one of the most widely abused class of drugs, especially by younger people in Alaska. Diversion of legitimate pharmaceutical continues through illegal dispensing and prescribing by doctors and healthcare workers, by pharmacists, forged prescriptions, doctor shopping, thefts from pharmacies, nursing homes, hospitals. Pharmacy burglaries are a problem statewide. Pharmaceuticals purchased without a doctor's prescription via the internet are also on a sky-high uprise. The prescription drugs most frequent trafficked in Alaska include oxycodone, like Oxycontin, Percocet, and Percodan. Hydrocodone, such as Vicodin and Lortab, and anabolic steroids are also increased on the high. Cocaine, heroin, meth, club drugs, marijuana, and pharmaceutical drugs are sky high in the state of Alaska. Picture my friend Brandon having to deal with these individuals, these poor young children who are not bad people. They are in a bad area and possibly being brought up with bad role modelship. Folks, when people go into rehab, whether it's voluntary or it is mandatory, they're not going in there as bad people to become better people. They're going in there as ill people to get healed or to get better. Like an alcoholic is not a bad person. For example, I did a show yesterday with Glenn Beck and millions of other people that are out there. It is people like him and actors, musicians, and wrestlers, and politicians, and some priests that have real issues because they are real people. They are not robots. I sit here before you humbly as an alcoholic. Yet, for over a year and a half, I have not touched one drop of alcohol because I have learned to live with it through my methods. My methods are very simple. My methods do not require a classroom. My methods do not require a 12-step program. My methods do not require a book other than the Bible. My methods are daily doing educational programming for you through my show, Take Your Life Back Today show, through my websites, through my reading, through my interviews, etc. There are over 15 different websites, whether addiction websites or other websites, that have picked up my videos for hopefully educational purposes. Type my name in any search bar in any search engine, Take Your Life Back Today's show with Ralf Friedrichs. You will find how many people have viewed my videos. They are here for you. Now, let's not misinterpret this whole thing. I don't sit here doing this just for you folks. I do this because when I help you, I help me. It is so selfish for me to say this to you, but it's so true. We work together. When you watch my videos and you listen to what I have to say, you are helping me. Without you, my audience, without you, my viewers, without the internet, without the websites picking me up, without the interviews, I would not be sitting in front of this camera, because if I knew I did not have an audience that wants to see me and needs to see me, I would not do this. But because I have built up my audience to a point where we need each other. You need me as much as I need you, because I need you to continue in my recovery. Together, we will walk tall and sober. Together, we will educate each other. Together, we will fight for a better tomorrow. Together, we need to be good role models. Together, we need to help other people. It is that plain and that simple. It starts in your home, folks. We read some of these things that are ending up in people's communities, and from the communities, they go into your home. I am not saying these youngsters from Alaska are any different than our youngsters. What I am saying is that they have a different way of living. They have different circumstances. Our youngsters have the privilege to come and go as they please. They have the privilege to go to movie theaters. The youngsters in the state of Alaska, in most of the rural Arctic Circle villages, do not have the entertainment of a theater, of a roller skating rink, an ice skating rink where they have the lakes. They don't have theme parks. They don't have, other than in their own home, arcade places. So you have to understand the different style of living that these youngsters have, and the pressures of not having some sort of entertainment, and yet the pressures of their elders wanting them to be like the elders were 50, 60 years ago, folks. These youngsters want to be like you and I when we were younger, or that's a bad example because we weren't like today's youth. They want to be like today's youths. They want to be able to wear their pants halfway down, although I don't condone that. They want to be able to wear sneakers. They want to be able to go to a theater. They want to be able to go to a mall, yet they don't have that. And what do? They get depressed, start drinking, and start doing drugs. But it really comes down to one thing. They have the availability to do so. So the only way to help them is by stopping what goes into these villages, stopping what goes into the state of Alaska. And the Substance Abuse Prevention Program has shown, with the statistics that I just read to you, that it has gotten better by anywhere from 5 to 12% in 8 year span. This was updated 2003. God knows we might be better now. I will tell you, for the years I was up there, I did notice, well, I noticed three things. One, not as much. I didn't notice the drugs as much. I did notice the drinking. A very high amount of people drink. And I did also notice the smoking and the drinking soda. Folks, if you look at the average Eskimo that lives up there, their teeth are getting so bad from the consumption of soda. They love their soda up there. And their teeth are so brown from the smoking. Now, I am not criticizing any Eskimo or any youngster in Alaska. What I am saying is that they do not have the availability of a modern society like we do. So shame on us for not trying to better ourselves when we have so much more than they do. And thank you so much, Brandon, if you're watching me. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I know your job has to be very tough. And I thank you for giving your service to these juveniles that come through your correction facility. For people like you, probably makes their life a little easier. And I do know, Brandon, that you probably coach them and probably guide them to the best of your ability. And this is why, Brandon, when I spoke to you last during an interview, I say when you are ready to retire or before you retire, because you can do both, like I do my optical and I do my coaching, you can become an addiction recovery coach because you have the passion. You have the personality and you have the professionalism and you have the background. You are around these children, these youths each and every day, and I need you to become an addiction recovery coach. I need a fellow soldier in this war on the drug epidemic, on the alcohol consumption in the United States. I need fellow coaches to help. Brandon, think about it. Please become one. Brandon, call. This is personally for you, Brandon. Call 844-414-8444. Ask for Dr. Luis Gonzalez, Brandon, and tell him Ralf Friedrichs sent you. I need you to become an addiction recovery coach because I know you're going to be good at it. You have it in you. Folks, here in the Hamptons, Long Island, as I look through the window, it is kind of raining, drizzling. But I will tell you this, folks, no matter where you are, no matter what the climate is, even for my audience in Alaska watching, if it's snowing, raining, no matter where you are, if you let sunshine into your heart and your home, whether there is sunshine or out there or not, pretend there's sunshine and let it into your heart and your home. You will get nothing but positive results, folks. That I promise you. You will get nothing but positive results from sunshine. Sunshine is good for your skin. Sunshine is good. It's a vitamin D, folks. And the negativity comes from the darkness. It comes from the negative people around you. Folks, wherever you're sitting and watching me, if you're sitting in a nursing home, you're sitting in jail, you're sitting in a homeless shelter, you're sitting in an Arctic Circle in a village right now. If there's any person that continuously and constantly tells you that you are a no good person and you are worth nothing and you're a loser, do not listen to them. I can guarantee you that God loves you the way you are, and I can guarantee you that I appreciate you the way you are. I don't care if you're a drinker. I don't care if you do drugs. What I do care is for you to finally realize that you have a problem and you want to reach out and get help. If you just say, Ralph, I have a problem, and you reach to God for guidance and direction, your life will come together as a whole person as time goes on. You will notice things such as physical changes. You will notice things as mental changes. You will notice things as financial changes and spiritual changes. That will all happen as you continue in your recovery. But it all has to have an action plan. In order to achieve your goal to become a recovered alcoholic or a recovered substance abuser, you need to have a goal. And in order to have a goal, you need to have an action plan. What is your action plan? One thing that has to be in your action plan, no matter what you decide to do, and that's to include God. The other part has to be, what are you going to do daily, 24 hours at a time, to stop the drinking and the drugging? I have the answers for you. Call me 844-405-HELP or text me at 631-599-0218. Email me at clearreform at Yahoo, CLEARREFORM at yahoo.com, and I have answers for you, but you need to reach out to me. If you're sitting in that nursing home, you're sitting in jail, you're sitting at a homeless shelter, you're sitting in Alaska, or sitting anywhere, know this, that God loves you. And know this, that there are thousands of people that do care to help you. But it's all up to you to reach out. It starts with you. And remember, a sober today, I guarantee you will make it better tomorrow. If you call me, let me help you take your life back. I hope you have a great weekend, but more importantly, I hope you have a sober weekend, and God bless you all.